We were just ready to run it. Okay. It's time to start. Was the meeting posted?
Yes.
First on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for a special one-day license to sell and dispense alcoholic beverages for beer and wine only, or either one. Matthew Mason of All of That and More, LLC, for Lowell Folk Festival 2008. This would be a parking lot area between 167 and 155 Market Street for Friday, July 25th, from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 26th, from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 27th, from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight. Also for all alcoholic beverages, Debbie DeSilva of the Holy Ghost Society for an event at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. This would be for St. John's Feast, Friday, June 20th, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Also for all alcoholic beverages, Yemen Ayub of Fortunatos, this being for an enclosed area of sidewalk and street in front of 44 Palmer Street and the corner of Middle and Palmer Streets for the Folk Festival weekend for Friday, July 25th, 2008, from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 26th, and Sunday, July 27th, 2008, also 11 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Thank you. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Debbie DeSilva.
Okay?
Matthew Mason, All of That and More.
Yaman Ayub.
Okay. Debbie, are you a director officer of the park?
Yes.
You are. What's your...
One of the directors of Holy
You're one of
Ghost.
the directors, okay. All right. You'll understand that the only reason I asked that is only a director or an officer of the park can get a license for the park, okay? Folk Festival. Yemen, you've been before us before?
Yes, we did.
You have, okay. Then we're gonna give you the short abbreviated version. Yeah, isn't this all the Folk Festival? Okay. My colleague here is giving me the raspberries, Hey, let me tell you, the Folk Festival comes to town, everybody wants to make $1 million. There are a lot of people put a lot of work into the Folk Festival that aren't as fortunate as you guys are. You're going to be out there, capitalizing on your business, which is good. It's good that festivals and things like this take place in the city, because it can do nothing but enhance your business, but it can also destroy your business. And by destroying your business, I mean if it gets carried away. Okay, fortunately, to my knowledge, it was pretty quiet last year. We didn't have any, Captain, do we have any problems with anybody? No. Okay. And we want it to be that way again this year, You can take advantage of the crowd, you can, serve the drinks and whatnot, but, you got to make sure they stay in, and, it's your license. It's your license. It's your license. So if you don't want to see the inside of a courtroom, now, you should take your license and your permit and put it someplace where the police officer that's there can readily see it. He doesn't need to ask for it. It should be visible right there. I know it's there. That's my permit, that's my license. It's right here, okay? So that there are no questions and nobody's saying you're encroaching on my area or he's encroaching on his, because the easiest way out of that is, somebody's going to lose. I know it's not going to be me, because I'm not going to be out there selling beer, okay? So, all right? You signed a paper, you understand the responsibility of what you're doing. Do you have any questions whatsoever?
No, thanks.
Okay?
No, I wish you guys good luck. I hope you have great weather and make a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I like when people are doing things outdoors. The festivals are one of the things that attract a lot of people from all over the region to Lowell. And I think, you guys do a nice job. You put a good face on Lowell, they're going to come back. So I wish you all luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll
I'll
make
take
the
a
motion.
Motion made,
Seconded.
seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up matter to do with applications for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Debbie De Silva of the Holy Ghost Society for Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street for Friday, June 20th, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight. It's St. John's Feast, a band with sound system. Also application by the Lowell Festival Foundation, UMass Lowell, Lowell National Historical Park, John Marciano representative for live music, sound system at the Boarding House Park, French and John Streets for the Lowell Summer Music Series, and Free Fun for Kids program on the following dates, starting with June the 28th, in series of dates through July and August, ending in September 12th. There are a total of 32 dates. The Wednesday hours would be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday hours would be 10 a.m. to 12 midnight. Also, for Lowell Festival Foundation, Arthur Sutcliffe Chairman. For live music sound system for the Lowell Folk Festival, July 25th, 26th, 27th, 2008. For there being 7 venues, there will be the Boarding House Park at 40 French Street, Dutton Street Dance Pavilion at the NPS parking lot, JFK Plaza at City Hall, Arcan Drive, Market Street Stage at 246 Market Street, St. Anne's Churchyard at 8 Kirk Street, Lee Street Stage at Lee and John Streets, and a street performance area, I believe, near the corner of Merrimack and Kirk Street. And last is the All of That and More LLC, Matt Mason, manager, for live music and sound system, the parking lot between 167 and 155 Market Street for Friday, July 25th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 26th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight.
Okay,
Mr. Marciano?
Marciano. Is Mr. Marciano here? No. Okay, we'll do the other ones. Okay. Lowell does not maintain a decimal level. We're going with common sense. That's the best level you can go with, is common sense. Common sense says that if you can hear the music 5 blocks away, it's probably a little too loud, okay? And, you know, fortunately, we haven't had any problems with the folk festival. The park has been good. You know about checking the sound. Well, how late's the music going to run in the festival, Artie?
Till about 10 o'clock at night,
About
10:15.
Okay. All right, 10 is, you've got the UMass got one here till midnight. You got to remember, you're in a neighborhood. You know, it looks nice. It's the downtown area, the stores and the shops and everything around the place. There'll be people milling around all over the place, but it's the downtown area. There are people that live there. They live there. So if you stop and think, gee, would I want to be living in that building with a newborn baby? I don't think so. That should tell you something, right? So it doesn't take a brain trust to figure it out. It's that simple. Do you have any questions about it at all? Use common sense, and I'm sure you're going to have a great time and be very successful. I'll entertain them.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
I think so, yeah.
Was that Marcino that just came in?
Let's see.
Was that Marcino that just came in?
No.
Commission will now take up the application for public amusement licenses for the Chaotic Wrestling Incorporated, Walter Jemakowski, treasurer. Mark Beaudry is the representative. The venue will be at the Polish American Veterans Hall at 10 Coburn Street. They have 8 shows scheduled, starting with all Friday evenings, June 27th, July 18th, August 15th, September 5th, September 26th, October 17th, November 7th, and December 5th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. each evening.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mark Beaudry.
Okay, Mark. Walter is he's the promoter, right?
Correct.
He is the promoter, okay. And you keep the wrestling portion separate from the bar portion? You close
Yeah,
that wall
the PAV
in
is
between?
correct.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
5 years, 6 years?
5, 6 years. And how many times have the police had to respond?
0.
Okay,
We
that's-
do have a police officer at every show anyway.
That's good. That's all we're interested in.
No, I know it's a very successful event, and I wish you continued good luck with it. Thank you.
I wish you good luck also. I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next on the agenda. Don't you like it when you have happy faces?
Commission will now take up application for sidewalk stand permits. Liliana Quilapay for the downtown dancewear at 122 Merrimack Street for the period July 1, 2008 to September 30th, 2008. Hattie Fisher is representative. The Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce, Jean Osborne, president, for 131 Merrimack Street for Saturday, July 26th, Sunday, July 27, 2008 for the Lowell Folk Festival. Barnes & Noble College Booksellers, Inc., Manya Callahan, manager, at 151 Merrimack Street for Friday, July 25th, Saturday, July 26th, Sunday, July 27th for the Lowell Folk Festival, and Lane Lacrosse of Antiquities and More at 6 French Street, Unit Number 2, Wednesday through Sunday during the months of June, July, August, September 2008.
Okay, if you, okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
Jean Osborne.
Okay?
Hattie Fisher.
Manya Callahan, Barnes & Noble.
Okay,
Elaine Lacrosse, Antiques and More.
okay. Okay, sidewalk sales. You have to keep 4 foot of the sidewalk open so people can walk by. They're not to be walking through your tables or stuff. They need the 4 foot, just as the people downtown that have outdoor cafes. Okay, I'm sure that you have supplied the city with an insurance policy. I guess they're doing it individually? Is that what it is now? They don't have a blanket? Didn't they, at one time, they had either downtown business people or somebody that had a blanket? Now it's up to them individually, or? how's
Yeah,
that work?
apparently it wasn't quite working out the way it intended to, so
Yeah.
that the Downtown Lowell Business Association pretty much has rolled into, I guess now, the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce. In any event, each business wishing to have a table out on the public way would have to use...
They give the insurance to you?
Yes, what we're asking for the city is to have each business owner have their liability policy include the city of Lowell for that period of time in which the sidewalk stand permit would take effect. So if it's simply for the Folk Festival weekend, the policy should reflect that. If it's greater period, then the policy should have that as showing the certificate holder being the city.
Everybody understand that? When you get, if this gets approved, you bring your certificate to Ryan when you, or your binder or whatever, okay? I remind you that, yes,
Okay, every year for the past 3 years, I was down on Central Street, and I had a permit to put things out in front of the store.
yeah,
I need it amended. Actually, it says here that it was July, August, September, June, July, August, September. My license last year was actually from April through September, and it was 5 days a week. I wanted it to be amended. Now the store's open 7. The Cirque actually has a 3-foot overhang that I put things under, but I just want to get licensed so there's not any issues with the city.
okay, so you're putting it under somebody else, in front of somebody else's store?
No, it's my store.
It's your store?
Yeah.
Okay, and it has a 3-foot, you're gonna put it along the wall, under
Yeah.
the overhang? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you want the permit for April, well, April's gone, May,
Yes, April and May are kind of...
April and May are kinda gone.
Right, but this is, yeah, okay, that's right, that's why you
So
put
it's-
it that
you're
way,
in
huh?
June, yeah.
Okay, that's
that
why.
all right?
Yes.
Okay,
You're
and-
right, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. The secretaries, don't argue with him.
No,
He
no,
types
he's
these
right,
things out.
he's right, I'm confused, okay. I just think it's for a year, I get confused, I'm sorry. So it'd be June through.
Okay,
Yep,
all right.
She's
7
just
days per
asking,
week?
did it be 7 days as opposed to what it initially was from Wednesday through
Oh, okay,
Sunday?
and you want to, okay, 7 days? You know, I don't have a problem. Can we put that in there and amend it for her? I don't have a problem. I think that's great. there are people that want to be in downtown during the weekend, and that attracts people down. I think it's a great idea. Okay, the only thing I want to do before I move for a motion here, what is the Chamber of Commerce going to do as far as like a sidewalk sale? What are you doing?
Well, we're not having anything for sale. We are giving out information of our downtown members.
Oh, okay.
Just giving out information.
All right. Okay, and anybody else, you know, you understand that if you're open during the folk festival, you can only sell those things on the street that you sell in your store. You can't bring something in from the outside. It has to. Okay, again, I say to you, if you get your permit, you put it up so people, if the police officer or people with the festival that are going around, and they will be going around, can see it, and there's no, disagreement as to, well, you were here or you were there, any of that, okay? Okay?
Once again, like we echoed before, good luck, and I'll make a motion to approve, unless Ray has something.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Good luck. I hope you get great weather. Not too hot, not like last Monday and Tuesday. Get right up there with the sunshine. Little vitamin D.
Commission now open the hearing on the application for all alcoholic beverage restaurant license by a corporation known as Haga Corporation, doing business as Olay Restaurant and Tapas Bar. Jeffrey Hernandez, president, for the premises at 76 Merrimack Street, an unnumbered door on Merrimack Street, and an unnumbered door on the south side of the building. The first floor would be 2 dining rooms, service area, a kitchen, and storage room. It is requested that Jeffrey Hernandez be approved as the manager of record, and the following mining license applications are filed also for approval: for common victular license for a restaurant and entertainment in a licensed restaurant.
Could you introduce yourself for the record, please?
Certainly. Attorney Louis Saab, representing Jeffrey Hernandez, the gentleman to my right, who is president and manager of the newly formed corporation. And to my left is his lovely wife, Elizabeth, who will be working at this lounge, and also a personnel, Ida, who is knowledgeable in this type of endeavor. Mr. Hernandez comes with superb credentials. He's worked for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for the past 10 years as a mediator and as a housing court specialist under the Honorable Judge David D. Kerman. And I've had contact with him all these years, and he's considered top-notch, first-class, and I'm sure he would be a real asset in taking 2 empty stores on the ground floor of the downtown area, once called Brian McMahon's, and make it into a first-class restaurant and lounge. The Lowell Sun editorial dated June 7th, and the editorial page makes reference to the restaurants that are rebounding in downtown Lowell. And this is what they had to say about Mr. Hernandez. Olay, a Spanish tapas bistro, should be opened by the July Folk Festival, always a harbinger of a new downtown business. Located in the spot where Brian's Abbey Hall once stood, a hard-working young couple are making a go of it. Hailing from Puerto Rico, they have a spark in their eyes, much like the immigrants who came to Lowell 80 years ago, seeking the American dream. We think they're going to be a big success, and we wish them good luck. I can't imagine a more capable man taking on a venture of this
Were
magnitude.
you a guest columnist on this editorial, Counselor?
Was-
Were you a guest columnist on this?
A ghostwriter?
I'd like,
The ghostwriter?
for a minute.
Okay, let's start out, Captain.
Excuse me, in answer to your question, Commissioner, the simplicity of your question belies the complexity of the answer. Having said all of that, I rest my
All right.
case.
Rest. Everything, did you check, Cap?
Yes, nothing was turned up on the record.
Okay. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda, we'll open it up to the public. Is there anybody that would like to speak in opposition to this? In opposition? In opposition? Once more, anybody speak in opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. Anyone like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the hearing is also,
Well, all I would do is confirm
kind
the
of a
fact
conflict. It's
that
okay.
Mr. Hernandez has impeccable credentials.
Right.
They've known each other for several years, and
That portion of the hearing's closed.
thank you.
Okay. Tell me, I read this and the counselor comes in with glowing reports. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Push him out of the way.
Certainly.
The longer he talks, the more it's going to cost you. Trust me.
I've dealt with him many times at the trial court, so I understand how he works. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. What we plan to do is bring a mix to the restaurant environment here in the city of Lowell. My wife and I are very excited about this new venture. We believe we are prepared to fulfill the expectations, obviously, of this board and of the city. As far as myself, I've been an employee of the trial court for the past 10 years. I've also worked in many other establishments, such as in the restaurant business. Many years ago, I helped manage a club with a fella in the city of Lawrence. My wife, who's also my partner in this venture, she is a supervisor for over 200 women in the family daycare environment. She's been doing that for approximately 18 years and is involved with DSS and all the multi-service agencies here in the state. I'm also a longtime Lowell resident, graduate of Lowell High back 1978, and I'm here to stay. And I hope to make this new business something that will be respected and talked about favorably in the city.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your background with alcohol. That's, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they did have computers, but they didn't have the children that we have today.
I understand.
And this is one of our fear. Believe me, and I think I speak for the other two commissioners, we love to have people come in here that are going to open a business and invest in our community. That's what Lowell needs, is people that are coming to Lowell to do something.
Yes.
To open a business, to work here, to do something, okay? And we want to make sure you have every opportunity to succeed. Succeeding in business today that involves alcohol is treacherous, to say the least.
It's a very difficult business,
Very
that I
difficult.
understand. As I stated earlier, I did work with a fellow in the city of Lawrence in a restaurant called Centro Español, Spanish Center. I worked there for approximately 12 years in every aspect of the restaurant. From
How long ago?
Oh, I was there, goodness, back from 1980 right up to, I'd say, 1997 when it finally transferred ownership. So approximately, some 10, 12 years. And I worked everything from bartender to doorman to every aspect of the restaurant. So I understand fully how the liquor laws work and the consequences that it does bring if you don't follow them to the T.
You got a high school that's in the downtown area, and I can guarantee you that if one of those children get in your place and get served, every single kid in that school will know about it Monday, how it was done, how they got by you, and so you have to be ever vigilant. And we understand that because we're in business and we know what it's like to see people invest their whole lives and then to see some youngster come along and destroy it. And of course, society today says, it's your fault, it's your fault.
I understand.
It's not that little weasel, it's your fault. Say, oh, excuse me, But, so, we want to make sure that's probably your most precarious situation is dealing with minors trying to purchase alcohol. We have a new sheriff in town, I'm sure you're aware of that. And I got to say, he and the police department have done a marvelous job. They send people out to test you every once in a while to make sure. There are companies that you can actually get a hold of, and I'm sure the captain could get you the name of the individual that you can actually hire who will send a trained miner into your place to try to trip up your help, to try to make sure that everybody's on their toes. That's just so important. But today, you've got to be, you've got to be offensive. Offensive. You just can't react to it. You've got to be aggressively out there trying to stop anything from happening. And as far as the rest of it and reading your background and the Lowell Sun, of course, you got to remember, Louis buys all kinds of ads in the Lowell Sun, so hey, yeah. But, Ray.
No, I'm just going to say, I think it's a great idea. I like the idea of having more restaurants and more options downtown. I mean, I hate when I hear people telling me that they live in Lowell and they go someplace out of town to go to eat. So I think it's wonderful to have another type of food offered downtown. Adds to the diversity, adds to everything that you can get on one street without having to go looking around. So I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ray.
I know I've dealt with Mr. Hernandez in the trial court in his role, and I know he's an upstanding citizen here, and I just had a couple questions.
Yes.
Number one, I'm sure Attorney Saab has explained all of the penalties that you could incur if you do sell or mine, since he does have a financial interest in your business. So if you trip up, he's going to lose some money too. So I'm sure he's made sure that he's explained everything to you. One question I had though is, are you going to have any entertainment in your property?
Our establishment, the goals of our establishment is, number one, to offer obviously quality food, offer a great after-work environment for the downtown professional, but also when the evening comes in, we'd like to offer some jazz bands. Perhaps we have a room to perhaps maybe some karaoke, but we're not talking a nightclub setting at all. This is going to be a full-service restaurant where primarily 85% or 90% of our business is the marketing of our food to our patrons.
What's your hours going to be, please?
We plan to open for lunch Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays through, I'd say at the very latest, 1 o'clock in the morning. I think that's long enough a day.
Okay.
And we'd like to open, obviously, Saturday and Sunday, but not for lunch, from about 3 p.m. till closing.
No, I wish you good luck.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much for
Good
your time.
representation.
Mr.
Wish you luck.
Chairman, members of the Lowell License Commission, I want to thank you on behalf of my clients for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God help us.
Commission will now open the hearing on an application for a wine and malt beverages packaged goods store license by the LLC known as RNZ Company, LLC, Richard P. Rourke, manager, to do business as Tudor Bean Wine and Cheese for premises at 58 Prescott Street, unit number 3C, a retail unit of 1,156 square feet, with an entrance on the ground floor, and that would be the east side of the Claflin Block building, on fronting Prescott, and the entrance would be the canal side. Formerly the site of the Lowell Hoffitz Sporting Goods Store. It would be on the back side, though.
Okay, this is one where they're gonna go around the back.
Yes.
Okay, yep. All right, if you come up. Introduce yourself. Oh, sorry about that. Introduce yourself for the record.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioner. members of the commission. My name is Richard P. Rourke.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Azoitis.
Okay. And let's see here now for a second. All right. Well, who's going to be running the store, Richard?
Well, it's a joint venture.
It's a joint venture,
yes,
but
it's an
you got a
LLC.
restaurant at the other end. You know, I mean, if you can be in two places at once,
Well,
you tell me how you're doing it, because I want to know.
I have a restaurant with a very capable staff, as you're probably well aware of. I incorporated back in 1998. The business has been established now for 10 years, and it's been an integral part of the dining
So you're not putting,
destination of Lowell.
what you're telling me is you're not putting in enough hours. You need something else to
Definitely.
fill in your free time.
Yes.
Let me just stop and interrupt. I see that there's a purchase and sale agreement as part of the application. Has that transaction already closed?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Otherwise, I would have to disclose a potential conflict, since I believe that the person you purchased it from is represented by my firm. So I wanted to make sure we didn't have anything out there.
No, that's been purchased.
Okay.
Okay. You know, as far as, you know, do we have any, did we do any information on Richard?
Yes, a record check was, excuse me, done on both parties, and nothing was found.
Okay. You know, your reputation precedes you. We've never had any problems with you in the restaurant business, so I can't, you know, I can't see us having any problems here. You know, Brian?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, I think as Lowell has become a more cosmopolitan town here, we have wine stores instead of dive bars downtown. It'll be pretty good, so good luck.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, anybody against this, excuse me, my apologies. You know, I had my teeth fixed, my head's not working. Anybody against this? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Anybody want to speak in opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed.
Butters were notified.
Anybody want to speak in favor? Hey, Artie, I knew you was saying, should have known you were sitting there for something.
Art Sutcliffe, business owner here in Lowell. I've known the Rook family my whole life, and he's a fine individual. His restaurant speaks for himself up on Gorham Street. With a cultural background in Lowell today, the kind of shop he wants to open would nothing but enhance the downtown area, and I think he'd be a great man for that position to go in and open a respectable place in downtown Lowell. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Next. Could you give your name to the...
Yes, sir. My name is Kenneth Strank. I live right above the premises that Mr. Rourke is going to be operating. And I do want to speak in favor of the application. Mr. Rourke has certainly been a fine neighbor, and certainly, as everybody knows, a great businessman in the community. So I think it's going to be a real asset for our building. I do have one question, though, if I may. Not being familiar with how these licensing proceedings occur and the information that it really conveys, I just want to be clear that this gives him the authority to operate within the building, but doesn't give him the authority to operate or serve beverages or do anything else out in the outside area. Is that true?
No.
It's just
No, I think the only thing he could ever do as far as like serving anything,
like wine tasting?
they can get like a permit to give
Yeah.
somebody a taste of wine.
That's fine.
And that's and that would have to be in the building if they did.
Sure.
But he doesn't have a permit for that. This is
Right.
strictly
To sell.
to sell.
Right.
You know, cheese and...
That's fine, and we certainly wish
Yeah.
him the best.
No, he wouldn't want an outdoor, he wouldn't have a patio or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? All right, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else speak in favor? In favor, that portion of the hearing's closed. I apologize. I almost let you slide through. You want to make a motion? You want to get any
I'll
other
say
questions?
Certainly well-known in the community, and if I recall, I've been singled out by Catholic Charities as one of their outstanding supporters. I think that was when I first heard your name. So with that, I have nothing else to add. I would make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bayless, by the
Yes.
way, when I came in, I almost didn't recognize you. You look very, very slim up there and trimming. It's a pleasure to see you in good
It's
health.
out of necessity,
It's a
Dick.
pleasure to see you in good health, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll let you do that, Artie.
Yeah, I mean,
Let the secretary enter that,
Okay.
so that the listening audience is going to know what we're doing here. That's a good idea, and I'm
So-
sure they're going to thank you.
So on behalf of the
Marty will give you a document.
summer concert series to be held at the Boarding House Park, Arthur Sutcliffe, who represented the Lowell Festival Foundation for their permits for the folk festival, since the foundation itself is directly involved with the Boarding House Park Summer Concert Series, on behalf of John Marciano, Mr. Sutcliffe would like to speak for the matter.
Okay, Artie?
We, the Festival Foundation is the fiscal agent for the Summer Music Series, so I'm comfortable applying for the permit. John may get tied up with
Okay, you
something.
go to most of many.
I'm there every week.
Okay, well, you'll see John anyway, so, okay, the same as before, it's common, all it boils down is common sense. The only problems we've ever had is when, there's one place over here, and they gotta drown out the music over there, and because they wanna attract more people, and it becomes a competition as to who can be the loudest. And, you don't need to do that.
That's right.
And you know that better than anybody, so I make a motion to approve based on,
Well, I'll second the motion.
motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
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 I was waiting for you to say
Oh,
something. Okay.
Thank you
you're all
very much.
set.
Yeah, I think it's a
We're all
great,
set,
I think it's a
okay.
great idea having that stuff out there for kids, so. I hope that like these 6 or 7 people who are watching
No, you got to open it up. We have to do open it. Let the council for the Gaelic Club decide if you want to ask the question. I'm just saying.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of a hearing on the allegation of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, Superintendent of Police, dated May 12, 2008, against the Gaelic American Club, Inc., the all-alcoholic beverages club licensee at 265 Chelmsford Street.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Attorney Mary Connell, and I'm here on behalf of the Gaelic Club. Representing the Gaelic Club today is Mr. Jack Brady.
Okay. Have you read the complaint?
I have.
Do you want it read into the record, or you act?
We'll waive the reading.
We'll waive the reading, okay. The police officer that wrote the complaint is not here.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. Officer Moriarty was given short notice to appear at today's hearing, and as a result, he was not able to appear here today.
Okay. Are you familiar enough with the case that you could speak on it, Captain, or do we want to move and postpone this, or?
We prefer to have a postponement so that Officer Moriarty could be present. If you choose to go forward without Officer Moriarty here, I can present his reports, and I can basically tell you what his testimony would be, although I wouldn't be able to answer any questions that he might have knowledge of.
Okay. What would be your choice?
I prefer to go ahead today. I think maybe Officer Moriarty's reports, if we've waived the reading, they'd be considered part of the record.
Okay. Do we feel comfortable going ahead with this?
I believe that'd be a question for the commissioners. My opinion would be you do not need the Gaelic Club's consent to vote on a continuance. If the commission feels that the reports are sufficient for their understanding of the incident, it may be appropriate to allow the Gaelic Club to present their position on the matter before the board determines whether or not that they need to ask more questions of another witness, such as the officer, or if the Gaelic Club disputes any of the facts in the reports themselves. That may be the appropriate course to take before making a determination as to whether continuance would be appropriate.
How do you feel about it?
I would like Officer Moriarty here. I think those are some serious allegations, and especially being a club in the city, I would feel more comfortable with Officer Moriarty here, but I don't know how the other commissioners feel.
How do you feel, Ray?
I mean, look, I would like to hear Officer Moriarty's testimony, but I don't think that I want to tell the club that, you're here, you've already shelled out money for counsel, and we're going to make you come back. So, I mean, if I could
say, I don't know if there's any factual disputes in the report. By way of a brief background, without waiving my right to continue today, these incidences, and all three of them, happened outside the club. And there were the two earlier allegations were claims the police department, I believe, got a call that someone had been assaulted outside of the club. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the location. I'm sure Mr. Bayless is. But directly across the street, there's a little green park with trees that's very dark, and it's not well lit. And Mr. Brady has looked into it. He, asked questions and investigated this after the two earlier allegations. And essentially what it was is that there's thugs or whatever individuals hanging out across there, and they're the ones that are coming over and assaulting our patrons afterwards. And because of that, Officer Moriarty's been very good about trying to be there and with his lights on the car to try and prevent anything like this happening again. The other incident in there where there was arrest made, that Mr. Brady had looked into once we got the copy of the complaint, looked into it, and he said that he checked with the bartenders on work that night, and that individual was not served there, which would probably explain his disposition and why he behaved the way he did to the police officer. But obviously, my clients are happy to have the police there. They don't want their patrons getting beat up as soon as they walk out the door, but that seems to be what's been occurring the last few months.
We had received a letter some time ago at this commission from some of the neighbors about the park and about the whole bit. Mm-hmm. I can sympathize that there's a park across the street. There's a big, huge parking lot and a place across the street from my funeral home. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of problems at one time with the children. I put somebody out there. I paid for it. Somebody that worked for me, I said, look, you got to go over there and walk over and let them know that you're going to chase them away every time they're there. Okay? It's that simple. That's not a brain trust. These people in the park are destroying my business. Okay? Mm-hmm. Unless you want to hire a detail officer and have them sit out there on the park bench, other than that, you can't expect that the city of Lowell is going to be able to have a cruiser there with the lights going. It might take some time, but all of a sudden they find out they're not welcome there, and they move and find another place to go because they don't want to get hassled by anybody else either. Mm-hmm. All right? Who called the police the night that the arrest? Did somebody at the bar call?
Yes.
When it happened?
No, the night of the arrest or the two prior incidences? Well, the night of the arrest, Officer Moriarty was there. And I think in the report it said he called Trinity Ambulance.
He called the ambulance,
Yep.
But did anybody call the police department?
He was there before when this individual, he was already there. And that's, I said, we appreciate it. We've tried to get detail, but obviously, you know, there's a shortage of officers available to do detail. And I think that's a good idea what you said, Mr. Bayless, about hiring somebody. But this day and age,
You
you have
don't
to hire.
necessarily need to hire somebody, you don't need to hire a uniformed officer. If there's one's not available, then put somebody out there to see what's going on, that has a radio or something that can call and say, we need a cruiser here, we got a gang forming in the park, and nip it in the bud. It comes down to when you say these things happen outside, people that have been in the club drinking are going outside. No, I'm not saying, I just because they're outside, that doesn't absolve you of your responsibility. You know that yourself. That's what we try to tell people that come here and get a one-day license. You get somebody in a car accident, you know what they're going to say? Where was the last place you had a drink? And the last place you had a drink is going to be responsible. Whether you like it or not, they're going to be responsible. And so you have a responsibility, if nothing else, to your clients, to have somebody outside make sure they don't get beat up. To at least be there and visualize and see what's going on. Being inside and having a police officer inside is fine. And then, they walk out the door, you go, well, they got rid of him without him dropping dead on the floor. If he drops dead outside, that's their problem. No, it isn't. It isn't, because they were at your club. They were at your, I just can't see this. Who'd like to go first?
I'll go for, on the letter from Superintendent LaValle to the License Commission, it says that there were 3 individuals that exited the Gaelic Club that were visibly intoxicated. Do you have any idea who these individuals were?
Was that the night that, no.
They weren't sure. They told them.
No.
Okay.
They weren't
Now,
admitted.
The Gaelic Club is not like a regular bar room. You have to be a member of the club to get in there, or you have to sign in and out, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you have any, I'm trying to think about the best way to phrase this, but you're not supposed to overserve your members.
No, absolutely.
And is there any list or any way of checking who was there that night? What members were there? What guests were there on the night of the alleged incident?
There's a guest book.
Okay. Do you have to sign into the club?
Yes. Well, the members have their card, and if they come with a guest, the guest has to sign. So the members don't, if they have their member card, they don't need to sign the book.
How about exiting the building? Is there any check on who's exiting the building, what time the members enter, what time they leave?
No.
I mean, I just feel that a club has more responsibility they have responsibility for their members, and to have 3, it's not one guy that's intoxicated and 2 buddies are outside,
But my
taking them
client
home.
was told that none of them were served. They came in, the 3 of them came in. One was obviously more belligerent than the others, but they came in and they were told to leave.
Well, what type of checks do they have at the door at the Gaelic Club?
You have to show your membership card? Is that,
But
bouncers?
is there a bouncer or
Yes.
anything? Okay. Well, how did they even make it into the club? Was there anyone outside checking IDs? Was there?
Well, the doors have a buzzer system to them, and so you have to buzz to get in. I don't know if it still has a code, or so the members would have the code.
So you're alleging that these individuals showed up and they were immediately kicked out?
That's what my client was told. He checked with the bartender that night. They were rude and out of control then.
But I think the commissioner has a valid point. All right, I'm not a member of the Gaelic Club, but I find somebody that is, and I take their membership card, okay, and I go in. How do you know?
Well, I think most of the people, the bartenders, the people that work there, know the members.
All right.
I don't know, and I can't speculate. I understand your concern that how did they
so
come
people
in?
are buzzing themselves in, and
You can get in the door, and then if you don't have a proper ID or a membership card, you can't stay, you have to leave. But I think that's like most of the clubs.
So the membership card gets you through the door, but they're gonna check your ID inside?
The membership card, once you get, I think with the bus.
No, I don't wanna know about, but that's the whole thing, Counselor. I don't wanna know about the membership card. See, I'm nervous about an 18, 19-year-old going in and buzz themselves in, and they got the card, and it says, Harry Smith, and there's 18 Harry Smiths that belong to the club. So now the guy walks in, and you're assuming that because he got in there with the card, he's 21.
No, anyone that works there is instructed that no matter membership card or not, that they have to, if anyone looks under, the normal procedure that's taught in the TIP program, that you card. Anyone looks under 35, 45.
Well, then how, if these three people were that belligerent, how did they get by?
I don't think they got too far, Mr. Bayless. I think they got inside the door and were told to turn around.
No, Ray?
No, I mean, my only question is, it was, if this is right, it was basically they were coming in at closing time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, excuse me.
And this Richard James Popalizio, I'm pronouncing it Popolizio, the guy that was arrested for disorderly conduct, he is not a member, or he is a member of the club?
No, he was put out too.
Yeah, he's not a member.
No, he was told to leave.
Is he a member of the club, or is he not a member of the club?
This fellow, right here, Jack.
He's a non-member, sir.
He's a non-member.
And that's why he was told to leave.
Okay.
He was upset.
And who brought him in? Which member brought him in?
I'm not sure, sir.
Have you got the book with you? Did you bring the sign-in book?
Mr. Commissioner, they can gain entrance into the club, and once right inside the door, if they don't have if they're not a member, then they can't stay. So all three of them could have, buzzed the door, the three of them walk in, ask for your membership card, we don't have it, you can't stay, and out they go.
It's a typical example of this, if this time is right, it's that 9 minutes military time, tell me. One time since I've done this. 9 minutes or 2?
Yeah.
9 minutes or 2. 9 minutes or 2, you let them in the door for their last drink. Just think about it.
I understand what you're saying.
Think about it for
I understand that
a
was the
second.
time of the report.
9 minutes or 2. These guys were probably, if they were out and they got popped.
They probably
And they
got
said,
kicked
let's
out of
go
somewhere
to
else.
the Gaelic Club for one last one. And they put them over there. Where are they? Are they here? Are they standing out in the hallway? Are they going to come in and tell us what great guys you guys are? No, they're not.
Oh.
They're not.
Mm-hmm.
What time is last call?
Generally 1:15. Their liquor license goes till 2.
Quarter past.
And Officer Moriarty's generally in there before closing time. I'd like to remind the Commissioner, point out that these incidences happened outside. And I believe the police are aware that it's other people that are starting these fights and altercations. It's not people coming out of the Gaelic and starting a fight or getting into trouble. It's people outside that obviously are sitting there waiting for someone to come out. And you said you had a letter that they had a problem there. Both of the two incidents reports are consistent with that. That's why Officer Moriarty's there. That's why he puts his lights on.
I'll be honest, the other two, I understand completely. You've got, it's a tough neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's,
It's a private club.
But,
they can stop anybody they want from going in.
I'm talking about the ones that are across the street. If you've got people who are assaulting people coming out of the club,
if you got
that's
people,
part of a neighborhood problem. But I'm more concerned with the guys who are going in and coming out of the club. That they're getting in to begin with. If there's nobody turning them away at the door, or that they're coming in at 10 minutes of 1, or sorry, 10 minutes of 2 in the morning.
Well, all I can speculate is that they got kicked out of somewhere else and decided to come to the Gaelic for last call. They didn't get last call there. They walked in and were told to leave. I don't know what else my client is expected to do.
Do you have any,
I think they got in when people were leaving.
Okay.
does the Gaelic Club have any communications with other bars or taverns in the city? We had a What was the place up the street here?
Just the
Right,
last meeting.
Mambo,
It's up the street here. Anyway, they have it's some type of hot pot or melting pot.
I believe that was that the Mango Tango?
Mango
Mango
Tango.
Tango. And they have, they are in contact with other bar rooms and taverns in the city, and, say, you suggested that these 3 guys got kicked out somewhere else. And, they have a little network where if someone gets kicked out, they call them up and they say, yeah, there's these 3 guys that get kicked out, you better keep an eye out for them. They cause some problems here and they may cause some problems here. Does the Gala Club do anything like that? Do they let other bars know, or do other bars let the Gala Club know of any problems that are going on in the city? Do they have any mechanism to do that on a Friday or Saturday or
I call
Tuesday
some of the
night?
bar owners I know that I had 3 jerks that I put out.
Yeah. There's a few of the establishments around. I think there's one, Gusum Halls, is it? Yeah. There's one down the street that Mr. Brady knows them, and that's, I think, probably the most likely place that they'd go in that area that they would walk to rather than get in their cars and drive. And he does know if he lets people out.
Is Gusum?
It's open.
Yeah, it's Gusum Falls right
It's
now.
a new
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
They came in?
They kept the same name, but it's a different owner. Yeah, okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
like Commissioner Weicker said, the second 2, I mean, it's hard to tell whether whoever beat up these guys could have been from the Gale Club. They could not be, so it's kind of hard to assume that. But the one, like Chairman Bayless said, 3 guys coming in, 3 guys coming out, that's kind of concerning to us. And I'm concerned about that. I don't think that's a good thing.
Now, have you taken out any no trespass orders against this individual so that if he comes in the club again, you can have him arrested?
No, but that's a very good idea.
All right, I mean, look, like I said last time when we had an incident with, people who are starting fights in clubs, if it was within my power, I would stand here and I would require every license holder to ban people for a year if they get into trouble inside of any liquor license holding establishment in the city. And I would require, that their faces be posted in the clubs and that anybody who serves them be shut down for that year. That would be my perfect druthers. I mean,
Sounds like a Republican.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you, you're going to start trouble at a bar, you're going to start trouble at a restaurant, you're going to be liquored up and doing this. If it was within my power, I'd ban you from any alcohol serving establishment in the city. I would hope that individual club owners would at least take advantage of banning people or, getting no trespass orders against people that are putting their lives and their livelihoods in jeopardy. But again, I can't require that, so I just vented now.
That's a very good idea, sir.
You've had a number we've had a number of complaints, things that hopefully you're using the door properly now. There's no complaint there, but this one here really kind of, I think the most, and I guess it's just me. It's me, but I'm going to say it for what it's worth. It just blows my mind that you let somebody in at 9 minutes or 2 in the morning. I mean, to me, that's just a total, I can, sometimes these people, and I'm going to say something that'll probably scandalize everybody, but, sometimes these people, they go in, they're looking for a fight, they're asking for a fight, and, fortunately, somebody maybe overpowers them, and they get the worst end of it, and hopefully they learn their lesson that way. Unfortunately, a lot of times they don't. But you know what? It has a way of it happens. But to let somebody in the building at 9 minutes or 2 in the morning, and you say last call, I mean, at 9 minutes or 2, at 1:15 in the morning, I got somebody standing at the door. The buzzer's off. It's off. You can stick all the cards you want in there. It's not going to work because we're closed to you. Because you know what? You spent all your money in the other place. Mm-hmm. And you're not coming into my place and buy a lousy $2 beer and I'm going to lose my license for it. It's not going to happen. I mean, this drives me nuts. Anybody got any thoughts?
I'll defer to your years of experience on the License Commission on a recommendation
You're
for this
gonna
one,
put me on the
Chairman Bayless.
spot. I'm gonna make a motion. We roll the hour back till 11 o'clock for the next 10 days. Watch the clock. That means at 10:15, you're closed. You're closed. And if I'm going by, I'm gonna try and get in.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay?
Thank you.
You gotta make him understand. There are a lot of neighbors in that neighborhood that are really upset. Then whether the park is because of that or whatever, I don't know. But, I'd do something because it's his business. It's his livelihood.
Exactly.
And I know that if something was going wrong at my business, you know what? You can spend all the money on advertising you want. You can spend all the money trying to promote your business and everything. But you're going to get a few people that are going to destroy you. And it doesn't take any time at all. Okay? So.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just for clarification's sake,
You got to give them time to appeal, right?
they certainly may appeal. The licensing board does have discretion into hours of operation, between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Those are discretionary hours. The notice of hearing did include the fact that there would be consideration for cause to decrease the hours of operation. I'm not so sure that's something that can be appealed, but as long as the licensing board is acting on the basis of the fact that there is a necessity for earlier closing, you certainly can consider it as far as when this 11 p.m. closing would take effect.
Okay, well, do we have to give them a certain amount of time for the right to appeal this to Boston, or do we go ahead and move?
Certainly, notice of hearing, a notice of decision with regard to suspension would include a 5-day notice, in which upon receipt of notification, they have the right to appeal the decision to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission upon receipt of the notice, within 5 days upon receipt of that notice.
So that's 10 days?
No. The point is, as soon as that letter would be sent to them, it would take 5 days in which they could file an appeal with the ABCC. The basis of your action, my point was to say that if you're just solely basing it on the fact that there's a necessity to decrease their hours, and that's all you're doing, they certainly can bring it before the ABCC, but I think by state law, I think the licensing board has the discretion to use those hour timeframes, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
and 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., if it's justified that there would be a decrease in hours.
Okay.
Provided
Right.
there was a 14-day notice of that consideration, and the notice of hearing did include that.
Okay.
So what you're saying is it could start tonight
Tomorrow.
if it had to, or it could start tomorrow.
Okay, what I need to know from you is, do you have anything like a Jack and Jill or anything like that scheduled at the club? Because it's not our intent to punish, some family that's going to use the club for something of that nature. So,
I don't honestly know. Catherine has the book.
all right.
Would you consider modifying it to say 10 days over the next 3 weeks? and
No,
let them
we're going to do it one
okay.
stretch, so people will know.
What I was going to propose might take care of problems with notice and appeal, and I was going to propose that the first rollback be July 1, and for the consecutive days after that.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Is that all right? Okay.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Okay, so you're going to you start July 1?
Yes.
All right.
Is that
Okay.
military time or Greenwich time? Thank you
That
very
way,
much.
that way he gets the 4th of July weekend off. He'll
Oh.
probably go home, his family won't know who the hell he is.
Okay, so this
Okay.
Is that
would take effect July 1?
Yes.
Right.
10 days, July 1. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anything else on the agenda?
Well, just I have listed under the Secretary's report an application. There are actually two applications for the same type of license. The first is for the one that's posted on the agenda, and that is Chinggis Tang to do business as TN Beer and Wine for malt beverage and wine packaged goods store license for premises at 51 Branch Street. It's a retail floor space, first floor approximately 660 square feet, with a storage room of 70 square feet and a basement storage of 600 square feet. There was a second application that was filed late this morning, early this afternoon. I've been working with the applicant for the last week. Finally, they submitted it in such a manner that it would be something that you could review and consider for public hearing, and that would be for, I believe it's Scott's Mini Market at 1460 Middlesex Street. You have copies of each application. In comments I had made to the applicants, commission, the earliest the commission could hold public hearings would be for the next meeting of July the 10th. Legal notice to be published in the local newspaper on June 27th.
Okay. There's only one other thing I'd like to bring up. Captain, I had a conversation with, and one of the things that there's been a number of house breaks in the area. It seems to be getting, we do require the people that have pawn shops. Does the police department have an active program going where they're going to like these jewelry? I mean, they had a thing on television the other day about people going and selling their jewelry. And it seemed to me that there's a number of them that are putting signs up in the window.
We do check the pawn shops on a regular basis, and as far as that series of breaks that's been going on, in the past couple of weeks, we've identified 2 or 3 groups of people that are going around making some breaks, someone's in the islands, and the patrol officers made a couple of arrests, and detectives, and working with this information, recovered one property, pawn shops, recovered property, $25,000 property in the past couple of weeks.
Wonderful. Okay. Do we license jewelry stores, though, that buy secondhand, old gold?
Right.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay, is there any way that we can check, to see?
Mr. Chairman, let me just, the fact of the matter is, in concert with what Captain Webb has just commented about, each licensee is aware of the fact that does deal with secondhand precious metal, old gold, silver, platinum, that they're to report to the Lowell Police Department on a regular basis, if not a daily basis, by 10 o'clock in the morning. That's city ordinance of all items they have received. And when you go to them and you have a secondhand ring of diamond or gold content, there's a certain set procedure that each business owner is to follow. Now, in the city of Lowell, we have 3 licensed pawnbrokers.
Yep.
The city also presently has 8 licensed jewelry stores that deal with old gold, silver, and platinum. And there are approximately 10 secondhand article licensees in the city of Lowell, each of whom has to report to the Lowell Police all their items that they receive. There may be jewelry stores in this city, and I know that there are jewelry stores in this city that do not have the license to deal with precious metal, old gold, silver, platinum. But that's out of the jurisdiction of the licensing board. I'm sure the Lowell Police, I can't speak for Captain Webb, but I would just assume that all of the licensees must have something to do with some commanding officer of the Lowell Police Department on a regular basis, I would think.
I know, I did. The only reason I bring it up was somebody mentioned it to me, and then all of a sudden it seems like you drive around the city and every other jewelry store's got a sign in the window, and I'm saying, well, if they're licensed, I mean, if folks understand that, this store is licensed, but this store isn't, guess what store I'm gonna go to sell, you know what I mean? So I didn't know whether, I didn't know whether, you had a program whereby you we certainly can provide a list, and I'm sure you have one, of the ones that are licensed, but to have somebody go and,
The license shops are pretty good about notifying us when they take property, especially the pawn shops. We get a list every day, what business they transact. And as far as the other second-hand shops, we will check them, and if we do find one that isn't in compliance, we follow what the requirements are of the city limits.
okay.
Okay.
Could we send out a letter to, I mean, I just did the quick math and it was 8 and then 3 and then 10, so there'd be maybe 21 different entities, and I don't know if the licenses cross over right now, but couldn't we send a letter just advising them that there have been numerous breakouts and to be ultra vigilant about what you're receiving and what you're not receiving? Just a blanket letter to those licenses.
Is that something the license commission
Can we do
does?
that as the license commission to our licensees, or?
Do we do that? Police do that.
Well, I mean, either one.
Well, I would think if the superintendent of police wants the license commission to do such a matter, I would think you would get that recommendation. In terms of, I think the presumption is that the licensees are doing everything they're supposed to do when they've been coming before you for their licenses, and you've given them the third degree as to their responsibility. But
I have no doubt that they are, right? It was just, that, as I said, you drive around the city and all of a sudden it seemed, and you know, maybe it's just me, and, you know, I got new glasses and I'm saying.
I would just ask,
I couldn't remember.
do you like, the same way we run, or you have the stings that are run with alcohol serving establishments, do you run the same stings on any of these jewelry stores that are dealing in secondhand gold? Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think, my concern is not with our licensees. I mean, I think, you know, we've looked into all of them and they all seem to be of sufficient character, but if there are other places that are unlicensed that are doing it. Okay.
Good. That's all we need.
Great.
Good. I'm sure that, you know, that make people feel, you know, it just seemed like I said, there's a lot of signs and I'm saying, wow, everybody's buying secondhand gold, you know? So here's a tooth for you. Anybody got anything else? Nothing else?
I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July, because I don't think we meet until then, so.
Oh, very good.
July 10th, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
We have a member of
Oh.
the audience, Mark?
Yeah.
John Marciano, Lowell Summer Music Series. Sorry, guys, I am late.
We already gave you your license away. You can't have any music.
Sorry about
Artie
that.
Sutcliffe said, give me the license.
I'm glad Art was
shut him
here.
down. Okay.
Thank you to Arthur Sutcliffe, thanks.
You owe Artie big time. Just, oh, okay.
Mark, anything else you want to bring to our attention?
And I saw Mark in the Lowell Sun. He's a media
Oh,
star now,
did
watching
you-
the Celtics, so.
Oh, he's more than famous in this town.
Did you write that article for Louis about his client? The glowing report? Oh, okay. All right. Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. We're coming home, Benjamin. Going fishing.
Thank you, guys.